Yep, I mean, we beat a really hard-playing team today. I thought Memphis competed at a real high level. It wasn't the prettiest offensive game on both sides 'cause I think both teams really competed and guarded really well. I have a lot of respect for how hard they play, and shots weren't easy at all. But I had to start our guys. You know, we had some great game. Obviously, you know, this game means a lot to Matt Morrell, and he had 19 in the game. Jarkel had 20, and then Nas to come in. He's been working like mad on his free throws to make that big 1-and-1. You know, the staff said take him out, and I'd hate to put a guy in there that hadn't really been in the flow, and he did a good job. They fouled, Nas, and Nas made it. So it was good at the end. Great crowd, great energy. We want to play this game every year. I think Penny does too. It's just been, we've played it twice. It's been sold out twice in two fantastic games. So Memphis is going to be just fine. I promise you that. They're going to win a bunch of games, but good for us today.
Questions for Coach? The way y'all thought down the stretch, I think you only had 7 players available during those last few minutes, and you've talked about second halves a lot this year. Just what were these guys able to do to hold on and kind of secure that big win?
Yeah, we really competed and defended. We lost Harris a couple times. He was quick. They kind of did a couple little some smash down screen action, and he made one against Jarkel. But nobody's going to shut each other out, So I just thought we rebounded the ball, and then all of a sudden at the very end we couldn't get 50-50 balls. Even Harris got a couple on us. It was just kind of some toughness. Luis, the whole group. Robert Allen got hurt. He's going to get MRI tomorrow. I don't know what it is. It could be, it could be serious, and so we missed him. So we fought a lot. You think about it. I mean, AC had 4, Jamin had 4, Robert Allen's out. And we went small, we went 4 guards. We were just kind of hanging on. Sammy Hunter came in and played good. And so Ty Fagan didn't have his best game today. And so we didn't feel real comfortable with him. And he's got to play major minutes. So we just kind of found some different ways to get it done.
I think you guys made 14 of 16 free throws down the stretch. Just how important is it to know that you can put guys in like Nasir and all those guys to make those sorts of shots down the stretch?
I don't know if I've ever had a big guy to work so much on his free throw shooting. He's really kind of changed his whole setup and how he approaches free throwing. So he's done really well. We got to get him the ball more where he gets fouled more down there. But you're right. I mean, we get beat against Marquette and we go 3 for 14 in the second half. If we wouldn't make free throws, we beat Marquette. So, we can analyze a lot of different things. It comes down to real simple things sometimes. Just going the line and making free throws under pressure, and sure proud of our guys.
You mentioned Jarkel earlier in your opening statement, but a little more in depth, how would you kind of assess what you got from him today? 5 steals, what he did on the offensive end. I mean, what did he kind of do for your team today in order to help you guys get it done?
Yeah, he led the whole game. He got really tired. And I couldn't, my staff trying to take him out. I said, 9 minutes ago, you put AC in with 4 fouls. And so I said, he's got to just use the media timeouts to his advantage. He was just spin at the end. I thought he just made some great plays, a couple finishes around the rim, shot the ball from the free throw line. And I can't tell you how much that game meant to him. You think about it, it's really the first time as an Oxford guy that he's played in front of, that. And that's so important to him, how much he's loved Ole Miss for a long time. So yeah, that was a cool experience for Jarkel.
You mentioned Matt. Is that the kind of game you have to have from him pretty consistently, with him being aggressive and taking shots and all that?
We do. We got to. We ran some set plays for him, and then our guys found him. Then I even thought he missed some other good looks. I just thought he played great. I thought he really defended really well. He had 3 rebounds, which that's good if we can get him in 5 or 6 rebounds. But yeah, that's some guys, their timeline and path is different than others. Some celebrated guys, it's like Imani Bates. He's still a really good player. He's just young, and just their timeline and paths will be different, about, their progress. And so Matt is so coachable, and I know I can't tell you how happy he is as a Memphis guy to play like he did tonight.
I think it's career highs in scoring for him 2 games in a row. Just what have you seen that's kind of unlocked his shot a little bit?
We just we tried to instill some confidence in Matt. Matt has stayed confident as a shooter, trying to concentrate on defending 50-50 ball. We always talk about the basketball guys are sure kind to the guys who do all those different things. I just think his practice habits have continued to get better, and he's just shooting it with confidence, and boy, he's got a pretty stroke.
If Robert's out for any length of time, what does that do with the way you approach rotations. the way
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
been such a big part of your defense.
I know, he is, he's got a staple of who we are, I mean, from a toughness standpoint. And, yep, so Jamin Brakefield, obviously, Sammy Hunter came in and played. A lot of the time when Jamin had 4, we played Luis at the 4, went undersized. Like I said, Ty's been really good. He didn't have his greatest deal today, so we didn't play him as much. But, he could even play kind of 4 and, we'll just play small at 4 guards and try to adjust some defensive things. Eric Vander Heiden, has got to come in. So, now you just, got Deshaun Ruffin out, and, that's be a big lift when we get him back maybe in a couple of weeks. So you hate it, but you just got to fight through it and, and keep these guys working. And like we said all the time, you just never know when your time's going to come. Just never know. And if you're not ready, boy, to hit you right on top of the head and you're not ready. I mean, you got to keep practicing, keep working, because your time can be called any time.
Are the fouls with Jamin a product of him trying to do a little bit more of what you want to see from him on defense at all?
I'd have to watch the tape. One time, I don't know, we made a basket. He just kind of jogged up the floor. And we're in our double fist 2-3 zone. And then he just, he just was kind of in a jog. And all of a sudden, the guy threw it. He tried to make a play, and he drove it baseline. I couldn't see the foul, So, but he's got to be just, we all talk about it all the time, down the stance, more willing defender. Down, he can. He's got good length. And we got to get him much better there.
Pretty big celebration on the court after that game, and just taking down a ranked opponent. Your guys were so excited afterwards. What'd you tell them in the locker room after that one?
I said, what about them Rebels? I'm telling you now, that was great. It's the 4th straight ranked opponent we've beat. We're 3-0 against ranked teams last year, so that's the 4th in a row that we've won, which means a lot, to our program. I know last year it kind of went because there's nobody there ready to watch it. It'd been nice if it had seen us play, beat Kentucky and Tennessee and Missouri when they were ranked 10th. So it's a great moment for us. The game means a lot, and our guys were sure excited.
Any further questions for Coach?
All right, thank you, guys. Thank you.